Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the mysterious new Rasengan that Boruto has. As we all know, at the end of the last manga chapter, Boruto is shown stepping forward to confront Code after saying he's gonna kill Code if he doesn't tell him where the main body of the Ten Tails is, which leads to Boruto showcasing a brand new Rasengan, different than the one that we're used to seeing. Originally, I was not gonna weigh in on this, only because I didn't want to discuss the new Rasengan based off of how little information we have, but so many of you guys have been flooding my DMs through Twitter and Instagram and Patreon, asked me to weigh in on my thoughts on this, and in the comments I read on the chapter review showed a lot of you guys were upset I didn't expound on the actual Rasengan itself. So I wanted to break down some of the meaning behind the names, some of the mythology references that could be tied in to explain future powers, and why there's actually something from Boruto's anime that people call filler that might actually be getting overlooked here when it comes to this new Rasengan. So I'll go ahead right now and I'll put this out here. I do think, just based off of Boruto's new design, where it has little small markers that are meant to remind people he's Naruto's son, I do believe this new Rasengan that he's using is another example of that, because of the way that his chakra is flowing is eerily similar to how the chakra begins to start flowing when the Hyuga clan used their main branch hidden jutsu, the rotation jutsu. Boruto's chakra is swirling around him in a spiral pattern, and it's around his body and not just around his hand the way that a normal Rasengan does, which I think is a pretty important distinction, particularly when you look at Boruto at the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. In chapter 80, he was so proud of his bloodline, saying that he was the son of the 7th Hokage, the grandson of the 4th Hokage, and he was someone with Hyuga clan blood inside of his veins. I don't think that this is by mistake we see this new Rasengan forming in a pattern such as this. However, given Kishimoto's penchant for borrowing from Japanese mythology and Asian culture, it's worth looking at the potential links that we have for the name of Boruto's jutsu to see if we can gain some insight into the abilities that it might be. Because as you guys know, when it comes to Kishimoto and borrowing from Shinto religion and Japanese mythology and etc., it's something that is about as commonplace and easy to understand as it is easy to play. Pocket Champs to sponsor today's video. This video is going to be brought to you by Pocket Champs. Pocket Champs is a free-to-play mobile game that you can download on iOS and Android that is quickly to become one of your favorites to play. Coach your champ in order to draw out his full potential by choosing the right type of training for the upcoming race. Use that big brain of yours to come up with the right race strategy through word analysis and gadget selection. You and your champ are a team. Train them well and trust in your champ to perform. The coolest thing about the game is that the champ is always improving, even training when you're away. Also, they can win the upcoming race, which the races are automatic, low effort, but jam-packed with high emotions. As a trainer, you can give your champ the best chance to win by claiming hundreds of gadget skins and other rewards. If you put in the work, your champ will thrive in races, which allows you to climb up the leaderboard, unlock even more content, and become the best champ coach. Most importantly, this month continues monthly themes that we've seen in the past. Like for instance, last month was Fantasy Tales, and for the month of October, it's Spooky Season. Download Pocket Champs from my link in the description or by scanning the QR code. I partnered up with Pocket Champs to offer you guys a starter pack of 500 gems plus White Wolf skin, so you can use my links in the description or scan the QR code and the rewards will automatically be added to your account on November 1st, 2023. But while this reward is worth $15, it's only available until October 31st, so don't miss out. Thank you again to Pocket Champs for sponsoring today's video. So the Uzuhiko, when I first read it, it made me think of the Japanese god that's associated with wind, which makes sense. Wind is Boruto's chakra nature, and wind was the original chakra nature release that the Vanishing Rasengan had before the anime changed it to lightning release. In mythology, Uzuhiko is one of the gods of wind. This god in particular can be traced back to Izanagi and Izanami, which are names that longtime Naruto fans should know because of them being the forbidden jutsu of the Uchiha clan, and that's why I think there's some merit to this, because Boruto formed this new jutsu while he was training under Sasuke in Uchiha. This god has two names, Uzuhiko and Uzuhiko. According to mythology, Izanagi blew away the mists that are surrounding the islands known as Japan, and this is what became the Uzuhiko, god of wind. So there's a chance that this is is Boruto making yet another wind release Rasengan as well, which is where the earlier point of Boruto doing subtle things to remind people that he's Naruto's son comes into play, because wind release is Naruto's dominant chakra nature. We already know that Boruto had developed a wind release Rasengan in the past, and I'm not talking about what the Vanishing Rasengan originally was. Under Kakashi, when they train in the anime, Boruto makes a wind release Rasengan. It's different from the initial wind release Rasengan that Naruto made. This is the Rasengan Naruto made before the Rasen Shuriken, which are two different jutsu. Rasen Shuriken can be thrown, whereas the wind Rasengan can only be thrusted like a normal Rasengan. That's the jutsu that Naruto made when he damaged Kakashi's arm, and that's the jutsu he used in combination with Yamato to save Kakashi from Kakuzu's fire release attack before Naruto fought Kakuzu alone. Boruto's wind release Rasengan was different than Naruto's. Naruto's had small yellow blades rotating around it in the actual manga, but Boruto's wind release Rasengan was green with a spinning chakra ring around it, and it lacked destructive power. It's a jutsu that Kakashi said was incomplete because it didn't have any destructive punch to it. It literally lost all the destructive punch of the Rasengan. However, I bring that up to say the idea of this Rasengan being completed now is not the craziest thing, and I'm going to explain to you why. We know incomplete jutsu can take on a different appearance than the final version of the completed jutsu, and given this mythology and given the way that the chakra has gone from the green wind release Rasengan having a chakra ring spinning around the jutsu to it now spinning around Boruto's entire body and the name, I think we're about to see something similar to what we saw with Soifon in the Bleach series. So in Bleach, Soifon has the Shunko, which takes on a similar appearance to what Boruto has going on right now. Energy that starts at a central point and begins to wrap around the entire body. Soifon's Shunko started around her upper body and it quickly moved around her entire body at high pressure wind speeds, just as Boruto's new Rasengan started around his hand and is now wrapping around its entire body. In particular, Soifon used Shunko in a way where it literally revolves around her body, where the Ryatsu is wrapping around her body like a vortex. Boruto appears to be doing this with his chakra, and the pattern is moving like that of a vortex. Masashi Kishimoto's one-shot from Minato played with the theme of whirlpools and vortex. Boruto's time skip manga is called Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, and it's in the second chapter that its new Rasengan is moving in the vortex pattern. 2 Blue Vortex, chapter 2, chakra rotating around Boruto like a vortex. Given that Kishimoto initially wanted the Vanishing Rasengan to be a wind release during Boruto the movie, with the novelization stating it was wind release changing chakra nature, we could see this being the true version of Boruto's wind release Rasengan. This deity that Boruto's Rasengan name is taking inspiration from in particular is both known as being one that rice farmers would pray to, and because there were times where believed to have a violent streak, unleashing wind generated typhoons that caused great damage to rice crops and to people, killing people. This new Boruto that we see clearly has a mean streak to him. He flat out is talking about killing Code and is preparing to unleash a jutsu that is swirling around him just like a vortex, and is named after a god that at times has been both peaceful and extremely violent. Just as the Boruto we know from part 1 is extremely peaceful, but this new Boruto has an edge to him and he isn't afraid to jump straight to violence with his shorter temper than before. Taking this a step further, Kakashi basically implied to Boruto that both his wind release Rasengan and his Vanishing Rasengan, they were incomplete jutsu due to the lack of power that both had. Both of them ended up decreasing the destructive power of the Rasengan when it should have increased it. We've seen Boruto in the anime take unorthodox approaches in his fighting style, in particular using multiple chakra natures simultaneously with the help of shadow clones to make one jutsu. Case in point being, the Boruto stream uses clones to make wind release, while Boruto himself uses lightning release and combines the attacks with one solid strike. It's possible Boruto during all his training has found a way to blend together multiple chakra natures into one Rasengan simultaneously. I don't think it's crazy to throw that out there. I personally don't believe that's the case. Let me make that abundantly clear. I don't think that's the case. However, you have to remember, he does have Momoshiki's DNA and knowledge. Momoshiki, when we first met him in the Boruto movie, was doing the same thing I'm suggesting, combining multiple chakra natures that he absorbed during the tuning exams attack and unleashed them on Naruto in one giant ball of energy made up of multiple chakra natures. Boruto is enough of a prodigy to pull that off because he's already experimented with trying to use multiple chakra natures and techniques in one attack before. Boruto's stream literally uses the multi-shadow clone jutsu while simultaneously using the wind style gale palm jutsu and simultaneously using an unnamed lightning release jutsu, all for one attack. While I don't think that it's the case that Boruto's combining multiple chakra natures here into his Rasengan, like some of you guys have suggested in the DMs, I do think this is a wind release attack just based off the name, and I think we're seeing those Minato genes really pop out in Boruto, because I think we're watching a change in chakra shape being applied to a whole new level here by having it wrap around his body instead of around his hand like a spinning ball. If I'm right and Masashi Kishimoto goes the route that Taite Kubo did, Soifon's Shunko attacks, then Boruto's attacks actually stand a chance of being used in an untraditional way of the Rasengan, where he's not thrusting it as a spinning ball, but rather the punches he's throwing will have the force of a Rasengan, similar to how Soifon's Shunko came with some really nasty power amps and destructive output. If he's found a way to do this, that's going to be some seriously overpowered ability, because the Rasengan packs quite a punch, and it's because it's the pinnacle of changing chakra shape in the actual Naruto series. This goes back to Boruto wanting to prove to people he's Naruto's son. We know from the Boruto Academy novels and the Naruto Parent and Child Day novel that Boruto has trained in the ways of the Hyuga clan, but he couldn't learn the hidden jutsu of the Hyuga clan, the rotation, because Boruto had not awakened his Kekkei Genkai, the Byakugan. However, he learned the movements of the Gentle Fist fighting style. He's able to mimic those movements even though he can't target the chakra points. That's why you see him doing open thrusts with palm strikes, and in a couple of instances in the anime we've seen him expel chakra from all the points in his body, because that's what the Hyuga clan can naturally do. The idea of him pulling something like this off as an imitation, it was spit in the face of everyone affected by the Shinjutsu, and given that Boruto by character, according to Kishimoto back in 2015, Boruto's very sarcastic, I could see Boruto having the balls to pull something like this off. But I want to know what you guys think the Rasengan Uzuhiko jutsu is. Let me know down in the comment section below, and don't forget to support the channel by downloading Pocket Champs here.